Hello, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen. Today I am reviewing the album I said I was going to review next is the next Weezer album, Pinkerton. Now, Pinkerton consists of 10 songs, like the last one. It is owned by Captain Records, and the song titles are Tired of Sex, which is the opening, Get Show, which is the second song, No Other One, Why Bother, with a question mark on the end, Across the Sea, The Good Life, El Scorcho was the main single for the first and main single for the album, Pink Triangle, Falling for You, and Butterfly. Alright, doing a track by track review, like last time, but guys, Pinkerton is
Right. It's objectively better
than the Blue album. Like, come on, guys. The songs are just 10 times better in my opinion. No, that's a joke. Well, I don't know if I think it's a better album than the Blue album. I think it has, I wouldn't say better production wise, better, because it's a lot rougher. It's a lot rougher album, and that's what I like about it. It's a lot rougher. I like rough music because there's a lot more guitar distortion on this one, which is the main reason why I like it more. And it's a lot more edgy, more emo, and that's saying a lot because the Blue album was pretty emo. So here we go. The first song is called Tired of Sex. Now, there's not enough lot lyrically on this one. There's like 2 verses and a chorus and the bridge, and then pretty much it. Well, there's a post-chorus, but the post-chorus, of course, post-choruses are only like 2, like a couple of words preemptively from the after the chorus, like relating to the chorus, but the song, well, anyway, the guitar solo on this song is pretty awesome. The guitar distortion, that is, that's my ultimately favorite song on the album. It's not as good as My Name Is Jonas as an opener, but it's pretty good. I like it quite a bit. Tired of Sex is pretty good. It's a little weird. It sounds like it came from songs from the Black Hole, the album they were originally gonna make, because of the sci-fi sound, the kind of like doing it off a drum bit. Oh, this video was sponsored by Pepsi. Anyway, so a pretty good first song, but the second song, Get Show, is even better. The electric guitar just sounds so rough, and Rivers Cuomo is just screaming out the song's title, Get Show. The lyrics are just good. There's more lyrical content this time. I believe, like, there's definitely more verses than Tired of Sex this time. Better chorus. Overall, lyrically, this is a much better song than Tired of Sex. It has more to offer. And there's no guitar solo this time, which is kind of disappointing. I think this song could have went for a good guitar solo, but man, the electric guitar breakdown, like, throughout the song is just so rough, and it shows the darker side of Rivers Cuomo's passion of music, opposed to the Blue album, which the Blue album is pretty good. It's just, Get Show is in my top 5 favorite Weezer songs of all time, so it's really hard to compete with Get Show if I love it that much. Next, we got No Other One, the third track on this album, and I really enjoy this one. No Other One is just great. The lyrical content is that Rivers Cuomo's just defending a girl that no one else will defend, and it's all up to him to be true to this girl and love this girl, just try to stay with her as long, but he's just really not liking her. This song lyrically is pretty good. But the guitar solo, man, the guitar solo, whew, man, what a great guitar solo. This album, the electric guitar breakdowns are definitely the reason why I love this album. The electric guitar in general, man, it's the reason this album is the only reason this album is better than the Blue album, in my opinion. It's not really the lyrics. Lyrics-wise, slightly better than the Blue album, but no other one. Holy, the guitar solo. If you haven't heard the guitar solo on this song, or if you haven't heard this song at all, why am I saying guitar solo? That's just a small part of the great moments of this song. Just listen to it now. No other one. Holy, it's my top 10 Weezer songs for sure. Next we have Why Bother. Now, why bother? Now, Why Bother is a pretty great song lyrically. Now, it's just, Rivers Cuomo singing the lyrics. Why bother? It's gonna hurt me. It's gonna hurt me. Yeah, why bother? Yeah, that's the best of my ability. But oh man, and I dig it up. The lyrical content in general in this album. Holy, I can go on and on. But the guitar solo, ooh man, oh jeez, holy moly. The guitar distortion on this one, holy moly. Oh yeah, but anyway, that's Why Bother. We're going through the most controversial, probably the most controversial Weezer song of all time, Across the Sea. Now, I'm not a big Across the Sea fan myself. It's one of my least favorite songs on this album. It's just a little too weird for me. I don't really like it. And it's just too pedophilic. And it just talks about how Rivers Cuomo wants to meet a girl across the sea. The beginning and the ending of the song, like the first verses and the chorus of the song doesn't really connect to the verses that much, which is kind of concerning. Like, the lyrical content is one of the worst off the album, for sure. Because it doesn't all connect. It is good at first. The verses and the first chorus is pretty good. And then, man, when the song goes on after that, it gets worse and worse. The piano at the beginning of the song, the piano, the strings, it's pretty chilling and up to the bone, and then the electric guitar, just, you could hear the electric guitar overdriving. Then you hear, oh man, this is going to be a good song, but then it just goes, pretty much, the song just goes more downhill while you listen to it. But it gets more and more downhill. That's the biggest problem with the song. And then when the dynamics go up, push it up, then it just gets a little. Then Rivers just talking about how he just wants to get out of the business and have a life. It doesn't really connect to the moral message of meeting this girl. I mean, I guess it would, but it just doesn't really connect to the main focus of this song. It goes on and on, opposed to actually being a good a good song throughout having a basic one-dimensional story. Yeah, but the third verse, when he goes on about leaving the business, going on an island, get some juice and stuff, it's just a little weird why that comes out of nowhere. Just song just comes out of nowhere and stuff. But the guitar solo, not as good as the other songs on this album, but it's good. All the guitar solos on this album are pretty good. Now we're going into the first single on the album, The Good Life. Now, The Good Life is probably, if I was a real music critic, I'd probably say it's the best lyrically on the album. You know what? It's about an old man trying to be hip again, instead of living his old miserable life. You know what? The story, the lyrically goes good, and then when the guitar solo on the song happens, oh man, is a pretty great guitar solo. One of the best guitar solos, on this album. Holy, whew, it was a good guitar solo. When everything just goes quiet, and then the guitar just goes up. Oh man. Oh man, the guitar distortion. Oh man. Whew, yeah. Okay. Anyways, the next song is the big single off this album, the first single, El Scorcho. Now, El Scorcho is pretty great. It's one of my favorite songs on this album. El Scorcho is a fun little song. It's not really meant to be taken seriously. That's probably why it was the first single off this album. It's pretty much the most like the Blue album, but I think it's better than quite a bit of the stuff on the Blue album. But El Scorcho, man, I really like the beginning of this song with the chords on the guitar. And then verse Cuomo says El Scorcho, which roughly translates to the Scorcho, which was the inspiration for that title was on a Del Taco spice packet. Very cool stuff. Very cool inspiration, I must say. But the acoustic beginning, the acoustic guitar at the beginning was pretty cool. What I mentioned earlier, the chords, doom 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 doom, very very fun. Which it's very fun. And I really like the bridge part of this song. That's a pretty cool part. Yeah. The bridge part of this song was definitely cool. How stupid is it? I gotta run. And then the guitar just blasts into your ears. The guitar distortion. Oh man. Whoa. That's just crazy stuff there. And the bass on the song, I haven't really given enough credit to Matt Sharp and the drummer. But the percussion on this song is pretty great. This is the only really notable song for the percussion on this album. Yeah. And the bass was pretty cool too. Oh man, the bass on this song. Oh, well, the next one is Pink Triangle. I don't really have to talk about Pink Triangle in the instrument sense because there's not enough of it. I can only really talk about Pink Triangle lyrically if I want. Pink Triangle is about Rivers Cuomo meeting a girl that he really liked at Harvard, I believe, and then he saw Pink Triangle, which is a lesbian group, I believe. I don't search that stuff up. But then Rivers Cuomo saw a pink triangle parade of girls, and then he saw the girl he loved there, and then he thought she was a lesbian, and he got sad and torn apart about it. Worst thing about it is that years later, Rivers, the girl who was talked about, said she wasn't a lesbian. She just celebrated people's differences. Makes sense. And then I shouldn't really talk about this stuff because I don't know about it enough about it. But Rivers Cuomo just got torn apart about this girl because he really loved her, and he thought she was going to be the next big thing for him. I don't really have to talk about much of the instruments. There's not enough of it. Falling for You. Isn't there? They say "Falling for You" on El Scorcho. I'm falling for you, and then there's the guitar solo. I'm falling. Where Brian Bell. Oh, that guitar solo. The electric guitar. Anyway, Falling for You is the 9th track on this album. Falling for You, I don't really have much to say about Falling for You. It's a nice little song. I like the guitar solo on this song. I like the bass. I like the percussion. Not enough to say about this song. It's pretty much the same kind, like El Scorcho, basically. And it also shows that Rivers Cuomo was a big nerd, or a geek. Geek is a better word for Rivers Cuomo. That he says "holy cow" for his first words. Holy cow! That's just a Rivers Cuomo thing to do. It sounds like. See, it's not a lot different than the Blue Album. There's a lot of similarities. Butterfly. Butterfly is the Only in Dreams for this album, but like quite a bit shorter than Only in Dreams. Like it's half the length of Only in Dreams. This is quite the short record. It only goes for a little above 30 minutes, which is one of the big reasons why I like it better than the Blue Album, because I have a very short attention span. What was I talking about again? Anyway, Butterfly it's just a nice little track. I'm not a big fan of Butterfly. I think it's about as good as Only in Dreams. I like the guitar solo. Yeah, there's not much to say. It's a more down to earth, peaceful track. It's the most peaceful track maybe Weezer's ever made. It takes the most inspiration from Modoma, Butterfly. Did I say that right? Well, the track is called maybe. Well, the last two tracks, Falling for You and Butterfly, because Falling for You started with Japanese, and then Rivers. Yeah, those last two tracks definitely took the most from those, because Pinkerton took a lot from that music. Anyway, I thought this track was not really to say. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe the Blue Album is better. The album kind of just goes like this for me. Some of the tracks were awesome, like Get You. No other one might be my favorite Weezer song of all time, or maybe Why Bother. Those are some of my two favorites of all time. Definitely my top 5. Yeah, there were some fairly good tracks, and the best songs in this album are very, very great. I love these songs. I think Weezer did a great job with this album. This album didn't do good financially when it first came out, critics also hated it. Rolling Stone put it in their second worst rock album of the year. You know what was first? Bush's Razor Blade Suitcase. Yeah, that album is pretty awful. Just like 16 Stone. Bush is awful. Who liked Bush? If you like Bush, then you're probably I don't like Glycerine. Glycerine is an awful song. Glycerine, the vocals and the guitar, oh my god. Awful, awful. Anyway, Weezer's great. I give this album a 9.5 out of 10. Yes, I gave the Blue Album over an 8. I like this album better than the Blue Album. The best tracks on this album, what I said in the Blue Album review, are better than the Blue Album. I'm just sorry, the Pinkerton and they get and the Pinkerton paperback. I don't know what to call them. They gave you a clear explanation. Who's the clear what would I call it? Clear exposure. It says Matt Sharp, who is the former bassist, bass and vocals, background vocals. Patrick Wilson, drums, percussion. Brian Bell, guitar vocals. Congrats to Brian Bell, Matt Sharp on this album. They did fantastic. And Rivers Cuomo, vocals and guitar. Wow. I have to thank Rivers. I don't know which guitar solos were Brian Bell's or Rivers Cuomo, but Rivers Cuomo is the lead guitarist, so I would think most of it would be Rivers Cuomo, but I think some of it was Brian Bell. So anyway, I have to congrats both of them because the guitar work on this album was great. The distortion, man, the distortion is the main reason why I love this album so much. That is what makes it much easier for my ears on the Blue Album, which makes weird. It's very weird that would be my main reason why I like it more than the Blue Album. The melodies, though, not as good as the Blue Album. You remember the Blue Album melodies. They're much easier to remember. This album doesn't have as many good melodies, or it has some good rhythm. El Scorcho has, in The Good Life, have great rhythm. Really good rhythm on some of the tracks, but melody, the Blue Album takes the cake for that. My Name is Jonas, great rhythm. Buddy Holly, great rhythm. And great rhythm. Holiday is a great rhythm, and that's my least favorite. One of my least favorite. Well, not least favorite Weezer song, but one of my least favorite Weezer songs from the 90s. That's the safest answer to say. Anyway, I think I've had enough caffeine for today. But that's it, folks. If you liked Pinkerton better than the Blue Album, I hope you comment down below saying Pinkerton's better than the Blue Album by quite a margin. But remember, the Blue Album is than Pinkerton. Sorry guys, Anthony Fantano said it. Must be true.